Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. This Thursday afternoon video is going to be a review of yesterday's win by Celtic's second team, winning 5-1 over Aberdeen at Pittodrie. Keeps Celtic on course for 94 points and saw Celtic move their goal tally for the season up to 111 and maintaining their massive gap over Rangers in second place and over everybody else on a thoroughly professional, all-around performance by the Celtic players, most of whom are the backup and fringe players, with only the real cloud on Celtic's very sunny day being the late injury to Rio Hatate after a rather nasty challenge by the Aberdeen striker just in front of Brendan Rodgers and right in front of the fourth official, who didn't seem the least bit concerned about Rio Hatate being thumped by the Aberdeen player and much more keen to get Rio Hatate off the pitch, even though he was receiving treatment from the physiotherapist. Anyway, in today's video, we'll have a wee look at the goals, we look at the incidents, and we'll also have a look at the stats and my own match ratings for the players. And as we go through one or two wee thoughts regarding Celtic's players and the future for one or two players. So Celtic got off to a good start, well on top of Aberdeen from the first whistle. Couple of wee half chances early on for Kenny and Yang and Forrest, but no goals. However, Celtic did take the lead in the 31st minute. Nice in-swinging cross by Luke McCowan, and Mike Nawrocki managed to battle his way up through the Aberdeen defenders, and a very well directed header past Mitov in the Aberdeen goal, and Celtic were 1-0 up. Celtic generally kept themselves on top, although after a rather long break due to a medical emergency in the ground, in the crowd, it did seem to knock Celtic off their stride, and Aberdeen briefly got back into the game. We bit of poor defending down Celtic's right side, with Anthony Ralston allowed the ball into the box. The Aberdeen player then flicked the ball on, and Kevin Nisbet, the Aberdeen striker, managed to get well above Jeffrey Schlupp and directed his header well wide of Viljami Sinisalo, who did make a very good effort to try and save it, but it was a very well directed header, and it would have taken an absolute brilliant save to have saved it. With the medical emergency, there had been quite a lot of added time, and Celtic did give themselves a 2-1 lead going into half-time when Yang added Celtic's second. Brilliant run by James Forrest down the right-hand side. Nice cross across the box. So the ball bobbled a wee bit in the box, and Yang then hit the ball in with a very good turning right foot finish. Celtic 2-1 up at half-time. And Celtic very much piled the pressure on in the second half, adding a third very soon after half-time in the 48th minute. Luke McCowan, nice measured shot, well above Mitov into the net after a great run and cross by James Forrest. And then this time Luke McCowan going down the left wing, lovely cross into the box, good run by Johnny Kenny to lose his marker, and a brilliant angled header into the far corner, and Celtic were 4-1 up after 54 minutes. Few wee changes for Celtic over the course of the second half. So Adam Ida coming on to replace Johnny Kenny, McArdle and Hatate coming on into midfield. Alsa Johnston coming on late in the match to replace Anthony Ralston at right back, and Nicholas Kuhn also coming on to replace Yang midway through the second half. And this time around, the substitutes all did, to a greater or lesser extent, have good contributions, and Celtic kept up the pressure and kept going right to the final whistle. And a nice move involving McCardle flicking the ball very cleverly into the box, into the run of Nicholas Kuhn, who managed to get through the Aberdeen defence. And his shot was well saved by Mitov, and Adam Ida, as good strikers do, was first to the ball and managed to add what became his 20th goal of the season. And apparently, it was the first time that Celtic have had three players at the same time scoring 20 in a season since 1976-77, when that was Kenny Dalglish, Ronnie Glavin, and Joe Craig. In the end, a remarkable win for Celtic's backup team. We'll just have a wee look at the stats, and I'll come back to the match ratings at the end. So possession was a whopping 69-31 for Celtic. Shots were 25 for Celtic, 12 for Aberdeen. Shots on target, 14 for Celtic, just 4 for Aberdeen. 7 off targets for Celtic, 3 off targets for Aberdeen. 5 shots by Aberdeen were blocked by Celtic players, and 4 shots by Celtic players were blocked by Aberdeen defenders. Mitov made 7 saves for Aberdeen, and Viliami Sinisalo 3 saves for Celtic. Corners were an equal 6-6, but touches in the box were an amazing 50 for Celtic and 20 for Aberdeen. So quite an overwhelming victory for Celtic, both in terms of 5-1 win and also the statistical outcome as well. In terms of player ratings, gone for 7 for Viliami Sinisalo, made a couple of nice saves, didn't have much chance with the Nisbet header, and he did his usual good job of sweeping up at the back, came out early on to header a ball clear very cleverly, and on a regular basis was that extra man to keep moves moving, and moving play from right to left, left to right, and through the middle. So good, well done for Viliami Sinisalo. Very good deputising for Kasper Schmeichel. Given Anthony Ralston 7, I thought he was nice and busy, defended well, rarely made any mistakes, slightly at fault for the Aberdeen goal, but otherwise good performance. Given 7 for Austin Trusty, looked nice and assured at the back, some lovely passing, good defending at corners, and I think he looks very assured at left centre back. Given 7.5 for Mike Nawrocki, an equally good performance by Mike Nawrocki in defence. Again, rarely looked ever troubled. Did score a goal, which gives him that wee extra half mark, and I was personally very impressed with Nawrocki's performance again last night. And for me, as things stand at the Celtic, both Nawrocki and Trusty should be ahead of Scales in the pecking order. However, Rodgers has other ideas. I've given Jeffrey Sloop 6.5 at left back. Defended perfectly fine. Managed forward more and more as the game went on. Did have a shot on goal that ballooned over the bar. Not quite as involved as he often has been, but gives Celtic a different kind of left back to that what Greg Taylor offers us. And I think also Jeffrey Sloop is a much better defender, a few inches taller, and only real blemish on his performance yesterday was letting Nisbet get above him for that header that gave Aberdeen briefly an equaliser in the game. Moving on to the midfielders, Callum McGregor, I gave 7 out of 10. Perfectly assured performance, kept things moving in midfield, some nice passes, some nice interceptions, some nice breakup of play, captained the side well, and one of the more important things was he kept himself injury free, and so he'll be available for the game against St Mirren next Saturday, and then the cup final the week after, if all goes well. Um, and Rodgers was able to get him off the pitch nice and early with Celtic winning, and that brought on Hitati and McArdle later in the game. Given 8 out of 10 for Luke McCown, I thought he had a very good game. It was touch and goal between him and James Forrest for man of the match. McCown scored one and got 2 assists. Thought he tired a wee bit towards the end, so it wasn't terribly surprising to see him going off later in the game. But I thought it was one of McCown's best performances for Celtic so far since his transfer from Dundee last August. And if Rio Hatati's injury is that wee bit more significant, it could well be that McCowan, Engels, and McGregor, who will be our midfield three for St Mirren and the cup final. Paolo Bernardo wasn't quite so impressive for me, 6.5 out of 10. Didn't make any real errors, just wasn't so good in his distribution, wasn't so good in his break-up play, and he did get a couple of very good chances to score, and neither of which were at all well finished by Bernardo, so 6.5 for him. James Forrest, 8.5 in man of the match. I thought he had an absolutely brilliant performance, tons of energy, some great runs up and down the right wing, swapping also to left wing at other times. He had a couple of chances to score himself, which Mitov managed to get saved. He had a fairly easy chance in the first half, which he managed to sclaff past the post. And of course, he was involved with the cross for Yang's goal, the second one of Celtic's 5, and also a brilliant pass to set up McCowan for goal number 3. And I thought it was Forrest's best performance for Celtic at all this season. And he also may be in the reckoning for the game against St Mirren, although I suspect it will be Kuhn, Maeda, and Ida as the front three for the cup final against Aberdeen the weekend after. Given Johnny Kenny 7 out of 10, I thought he had a pretty good game, led the line nicely, had a more of an Adam Ida style of way of playing centre forward. A couple of chances in the first half that didn't quite fall his way, and then when McCowan did get a good ball into the box, Kenny made a good run and good header to put Celtic 4-1 up at that time. And well done to Johnny Kenny, making his first start for Celtic and also scoring his first goal for Celtic's full first team. Yang, I've given 7 out of 10. One or two wee nice runs up and down the left wing, one or two nice wee runs up and down the right wing. Could have scored early on with a header, which went over the bar. Then coming in off his wing, he managed to get the rebound off the goalkeeper from Forrest's cross to score 8 minutes into added time in the first half, put us 2-1 up at half time. Wasn't quite so visible in the second half, and so not too unsurprisingly, he was taken off for Kuhn. In terms of the subs, nice to see Alistair Johnson back on the pitch and fit, giving him 6.5. One or two wee nice passes and runs in the midfield in the final third. Hardly had any defending to do by the time he came on the pitch, and he certainly seemed to come through the game nice and fit and strong, and so good omens for the game against St Mirren and then the game against Aberdeen the weekend after. Rio Hatati have given 6 out of 10. Bit of an anonymous performance by Hatati when he was on the pitch. And unfortunately, he does seem to have a knee injury, hopefully just a knee bruise, although it'll take a day or two for the bruising and swelling to settle down, and then Celtic will be able to see if it's going to be a short-lasting thing and having him back for the cup final, or whether that's Rio's last game for the season. Given 7 for Adam Ida, thought a nice busy performance up front, scored the goal to make his 20th of the season, so well done to Adam Ida. A couple of other wee half chances earlier on that substitute appearance. Nicholas Kuhn given 7 out of 10 as well, nice and active down his right wing. A couple of nice crosses, couple of nice passes. He did have the shot on goal that rebounded for what ended up being Celtic's 5th goal, and good performance by him. And I thought Sean McArdle looked much more assured this time. and some nice passing, some nice linking, and he had a wonderful little flick-on pass that set up Kuhn to shoot, which ended up being Adam Ida's goal on the rebound. So well done to everybody playing for Celtic yesterday. No other major Celtic news coming through, and no other major stories of any players coming into Celtic or leaving Celtic other than that. And I think things will just coast along. Trophy presentation day on Saturday again after the St Mirren match. Then a wee bit of rest and relaxation and recovery over the week. A couple of days of training, and then the cup final in 9 days' time. That just about finishes things off for today's video. Just as we finish, we polite suggestion, encouragement for those not yet subscribed to the channel. Please do add to those slowly increasing subscriber numbers, moving up through the 1200s. If you have any thoughts regarding Celtic's performance yesterday, the players, the ratings, etc., please do pop those into the comment section, and do feel free to raise any other Celtic issues for a nice wee pleasant debate chat amongst like-minded Celtic fans. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail hail.